So none of the major mechanics of the faucet are going to change. That's not going to happen. People, when they put their money in the drip faucet, that is a lockup of their principal, and they need to understand that when they make that commitment, the rules of the game are not going to change on them midway through, or a year later, or 3 years later. All of those values are set in stone and will be continued set in stone. Now, we can build contracts on top of them that add more value to them, or maybe do have some changes to them, but the core contracts are immutable, and that's a promise that we made to the community that we'll maintain. Now, so the supply of the drip token is relative to the amount of contracts that are utilizing it. So when only the faucet was utilizing drip, then all of the drip tokens were going to the faucet pool and the faucet tax vault. So people, that was the only place you could put drip, was into the faucet. That drip was then put in the tax vault, and 10% of all transactions were put in the tax vault. When you only have drip in the tax vault, then there's no need to mint drip to pay out dividends in the faucet, because all of the drip is going to the tax vault. Now, if you start creating additional products for drip, that drip that is going to those additional products instead of the tax vault are still being taken out of circulation. The true circulating supply of drip is not being increased. In fact, it's reducing. But in order for the faucet to maintain its ability to pay out dividends, it needs to be able to adjust the supply to ensure that it meets the demand for dividend payouts. But the fact that we've continued to outperform all of the major altcoins, we're moving on par with the market, even while paying out 1% interest, shows you that these additional drip that are being allocated to the tax vault are not being created at the expense of the price of drip. It's not adding more drip to the circulating supply. The circulating supply of drip is reducing. The total supply of drip is irrelevant, because if the total supply is accounting for drip that is locked up in contracts that in some cases cannot be removed from contracts, then it will never affect the price, not in a negative way. Of course, when you reduce the supply, you can have more of a positive price impact, but as more products and as more contracts and more utility and more use cases are built for drip, the circulating supply will increase. I said it backwards. The circulating supply will decrease, which will have a positive effect on the price, and the total supply could remain static or could increase. But as long as the circulating supply is going down, that's what matters, because that's the drip that can actually hit the market. So you're going to notice the more products we build for drip, the more use cases we build for drip, the more drip that otherwise would be going into the faucet will be going to these other contracts, which means the faucet, if it doesn't have drip in the tax vault, needs to create that drip to pay out the dividends. But that doesn't mean more drip are going to circulating supply. In fact, it means less drip are going to circulating supply, because more drip are going into these additional products. And it's very obvious to anybody who was looking at the analytics when we started the manor farm, when we started the drip garden. People like to go into the new thing, the new hot thing. So a lot of drip that would otherwise be going to the faucet went into the drip garden. Drip garden is locking up drip. Or it went to the manor farm, which is putting drip in the liquidity pool, the pancake swap liquidity pool. It removed a ton of drip from the circulating supply. So if it's removing, say, 20% more drip from the circulating supply, but 10% less drip is going into the faucet, that means that the circulating supply is reducing by 20%. The total supply may increase by 10% to pay out people in the faucet, but what actually can have an effect on the price, the drip that can actually have a negative effect on the price, was reduced by 20%. So looking at the total supply tells you very little about projects with staking protocols, just like looking at the market cap tells you almost nothing about tokens with staking contracts. So I could right now create a token that has a $1 trillion market cap. I could do that by issuing tokens, locking up, say, 1 billion tokens, or locking up 1 trillion tokens if you want to have $1 trillion market cap, and then listing the token at $1. So I list the token at $1. There's 1 trillion tokens locked up in a contract that will never hit the market. And now, what do to get the market cap? You multiply the price of the token versus the supply of the token, and that gives us a $1 trillion market cap. I could easily create a token tomorrow with a $1 trillion market cap. That shows you and I could do it only putting $1 into the system. That shows you how little these values mean, the market cap and the total supply, when you account, or if you're not accounting for all of the other factors. So, of course, like kind of noobs don't understand how these things work, and they can get confused and thrown off. But this is why I was saying, for future development, and why we decided to make major changes to V2 on Animal Farm, if you can put price appreciation first before yield paid on dividends, you're going to do a better job at kind of promoting to the noobs, because noobs they don't know what's going on as far as all these